Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. On a very pleasant afternoon. The sun has come out. It is about plus 3 or 4 degrees, and the rest of the week is above zero. Some rain Wednesday, Thursday, so a lot of the snow is going to disappear. And if you've been wondering where I am or where I've been, firstly, as you know, I'm moving, and so there's been a lot of work to do with that. We're getting very close to the end now, and the trailer that I'm moving into temporarily will be pulled onto the new property for the middle of April, and that's when I'm shooting for. So I've got 3 weeks to come back and just do any tidying up and finishing off that needs to be done before. Well, it's already got on the market. There are two couples coming over to view it tomorrow night, and so things, as soon as spring hits, people get busy. Anyway, we're going to take a little walk around the property, and not much to see, but we can have a chat and a walk and talk in these tumultuous times. And of course, that's the other reason I was going to say that I haven't made any videos is, wow, things change so fast in 24 hours that you just cannot keep up, and you say one thing one day and the next day it's contradicted, or something new has been revealed, and yeah, you really can't comment on a whole heck of a lot. Anyway, I will be commenting on some stuff because there's been some actually amazing changes that's taken place over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okie dokie, here we go. So here we go. When I got home this afternoon, this was in the backyard. Actually, there's another truck. It's just taken off, and this thing was running, and boy oh boy oh boy was it absolutely unbelievably noisy. Apparently they're about 160 feet down. Look at the size of this thing. And this here is a silt. They use water to assist the drill, to lubricate the drill, and this is what has been pulled up out of the ground. And you'll see tomorrow, I'll come down when it's actually running, but right on top there, that is the drill rig, and that goes upright, and here is the hole in the ground. Well, not there yet, just covered over with that bucket. Down there, that's where the well is. And those are the sections of pipe. They add those as they go down. As I say, they're down about 160 feet right now, and they haven't seen really much water at all. But yeah, that's quite the rig. Nicely stabilized. But man, it was noisy. Oh my god. Anyway, I will show you tomorrow what it looks like when it's running. So there we are. The well drillers have gone. That's all the stuff that came out of the ground as they were making the hole. That is an 8-inch casing, I believe, and that goes down something like 18 or 20 feet. And the rest is whatever they drilled through, whatever material, which looks like mostly granite. Now, they didn't hit any water or any veins. They said there was a little bit of water pouring in, but so now the next part of the process is somebody's going to come over and frack the well, and that means they're going to fill it up with pressurized water, and they take it up. Oh yeah, it's thousands of psi, and I'd be fascinated to watch the process. But that will open up any cracks or any other things that went past, that was bypassed as the drill went down, and maybe resealed as it went past. but they did say there's some rust in the water, so we will have to see what kind of water quality that we get out of there. And right down the well, of course you can't see anything, but ho! Hear the echo? Ho! 2 callbacks. So that's a pretty deep well. Here's a quick look at the apartment and the absolute chaos that I'm living in right now. Everything is in the process of being packed up, moved. I'm still living without water. I never realized I had so many meat grinders. I must have about 40 or 50 meat grinders. And you know, I started collecting them because my mum in England said that they would be valuable. And you know, when I started picking them up, because they are very, very cheap over here in Canada, and anyways, one of the things I started noticing about them is that they were all different manufacturers, which shows kind of how important these things were. They were made by anybody and everybody that could, and were obviously sold. And I'm actually going to do a bit of a history piece. I did some research and I couldn't find much on them, but I mean, you can see how this is an essential piece of equipment to be able to grind up meat and goodness knows what else. Made life a lot easier, and everyone must have had one. So yeah, this is how I live. I get washed at the sink here, and I guess I should be thankful that I can still reach my foot up to the sink, and that I still have some access to water. Like I said in previous videos, it really does bring home. It really does bring home the necessity of water and how much we waste. Anyway, this mess is a constant reminder to keep moving, keep packing, and yeah, that's where we are right now. There you go, the chickens are out romping around enjoying the nice weather, and they will be heading to their new home in about a week's time. I'm just about down to the last little bit of feed in the bin there, so yeah, they can go over to their new location, and just about done the wood. There's 5 cord I went through this winter. There is just a little corner left, and the fire usually goes out, the furnace usually goes out around about the middle of May. So there's still a good 6 weeks yet. Well, I won't be here, so I'm sure I'm going to let the furnace go out if I'm not keeping the place warm and there's no chance of frost. But yeah, what I'm really pleased about, you know, it seems like there's still quite a bit of the apartment to go, although I did bring quite a bit down. All those boxes you saw up there, I brought those down to load into here, and as you can see, there's only just a little bit room left at this end for the rest of those boxes, but it sure is a nice feeling to have the bulk of that filled up. And as you can see by the depth, you can imagine there is quite a bit of stuff in there. Not really worth a whole heck of a lot, just personal possessions and things that I'm bringing along for the journey. And here's the old container. And there you go. That's all there is left in here to bring out. Anyway, it's a nice feeling to have all of this tidied up, and like I say, there's just a few odds and ends here that won't take very long to move out. This is just the garbage that was left over that'll be going down to the dump. So yes, all in all, things are progressing very, very well, very timely. And as I say, I'll be looking forward to moving around about the 2nd week of April. But in the world, my God, what on earth is going on? I don't know whether you've been following the street riots in Paris, but there has been literally millions of French people on the streets to protest Macron and his absolute arrogance. He wanted to change the retirement age from 62 to 64, and which is of course a theft of your time if you've paid into the system to force you to work an extra couple of years, and that was the agreement. So Macron has limited support in the government, and he was concerned that this wasn't going to pass, and so he made a decree. He found some legal loophole and he rammed it through without discussion, and now Paris is on fire. A completely different situation happened in Holland. The Dutch farmers formed a political party, the BBB. I'm not quite sure what that stands for, but they have captured 30 seats in Parliament, and they now have the controlling voice, and so you're going to see some very interesting changes in Holland. And it just goes to show you that when people get together and they are angry enough and they stand their ground, things can change. Forming a party and voting your party in, that's the key. As we can see with bad governments, government can change things very, very quickly. Even though it seems like, well, it's when they don't want to do stuff, they know how to drag their feet. They can make it last an awful long time, make it a painful process. But when they do want things to happen, it's amazing how quickly they can organize things. And so for the Dutch farmers to be taking over the government, you may see the guillotine being rolled out for crimes against humanity. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I don't think there is one country in Europe right now that isn't protesting. Same in South America. The whole world seems to be on fire. And of course, we would be very remiss if we didn't talk about the banking situation. And I actually think that this is it. I think they pushed the ship over the edge of Niagara Falls, and there is no bringing this back. Mainly because everything's tied together. Absolutely everything. All of these debts between banks and swaps and derivatives and so on and so forth, they're all linked together, and if one person cannot make a payment on a loan, it starts to trigger a whole set of defaults. But because it's been so highly publicized, it's been all over Twitter. Elon Musk has put his 2 cents worth in. There are so many videos on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute about the coming collapse and chaos of the financial system. And of course, unbelievably, Janet Yellen, the head of the Treasury, said that basically in not so many words, but they would only be bailing out the too big to fail. Regional banks would be left to struggle. And of course you can imagine anybody who has $250,000 or up in deposit in a regional bank is going to be rushing to be into one of the main banks. And I would urge all of you in Canada, this hasn't happened in Canada yet, but it may well do, and I would urge all of you, if you're in a regional bank, if you're in a credit union, stay there. Do not panic. Do not panic, because these small regional banks, just like in A Wonderful Life, they are the heart and soul of a community, and they may well keep running when the larger banks actually fail. I mean, why would Janet Yellen say that? Okay, she said that because the big banks are in serious trouble and they need to nudge more funds, more liquidity into their coffers. So they are leveraging these regional banks. So do not move your money. Keep your money in a regional bank. If you've got your money in a main bank, one of the big five, get it out. Get it out. They're the ones who are in trouble. They're the ones who've been playing games on the derivative market and printing money like crazy and turning debt into assets and so on and so forth. So yes, they are the risky ones. That's why they're driving money in that direction. And of course, this has been reflected in the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just soaring right now, as well, you can imagine. Where are you going to put your money? Like, if you've got some serious coin, where are you going to put that? You're going to put it into treasuries, you're going to put it into bonds, you're going to put it into another bank? No, I think because you've already gone to the trouble of withdrawing, which is the hardest part of getting that money out of that institution, you are going to put some of that portfolio into Bitcoin or one of the other cryptos, Ethereum, Litecoin, because nobody has any idea what is going to be safe. I think that there is a huge panic in the financial system because if the banking system fails and they don't have the central bank digital currencies set up, people are going to move to some other kind of transaction system. It'll probably be Bitcoin. And you know, once you start using something, a habit is formed, and they know that. And if you find that Bitcoin works for you and that you can transact and that merchants will accept it, and you can go through PayPal and do all the things that you could regularly with a dollar, okay, you're going to continue to use Bitcoin. And that is what they're scared of, because they cannot control Bitcoin. And it has been up and running for over 12, 13 years now, and it has proved itself to be an absolute stellar safe investment. It was not seized during the truckers' convoy situation where they froze bank accounts and so on and so forth. Nobody could get into the wallet. They tried, but the people who create these wallets basically said, well, no, we don't have any control over the wallet. What people do with it, that we just make the wallet, and whatever they decide to put into it, that's what they can do. But they couldn't get into those wallets. So as long as you don't have to touch the financial system, in other words, if you can transact directly in Bitcoin, wow, you're up and running. You are out of the hands of the thieving government. Okay, these are charlatans and thieves, and the only reason they want a central bank digital currency is so that they can steal your money. They can program that money. They can program that money to be worth less after a certain time period has elapsed, and they can continue that on. So, like, say after a month, a dollar is only worth 75 cents worth of goods, and then after 2 months it drops to 50 cents. So the longer you wait to spend that money, the less that money is worth. And this is going to force people to spend in ways that you won't be able to save. It'll be impossible to save, because it won't have any value left. So this is, wow, this is the devil's work. The devil's work. Do not accept, I'll say it over and over again, do not accept a digital ID or a digital currency. And I saw a video, just a little heads up here, this was kind of interesting. This gal was saying that if you have a mortgage with a bank and the bank switches to a central bank digital currency, do not use that currency. Look at your agreement, and I think you'll find that settlement will be in dollars, gold, or silver, not digital currency, and they have null and voided your contract by using a different currency. So you might want to check into that. If you have a mortgage, check into the currency that is acceptable for payment and settlement. And like I say, if they change, if your bank changes to a central bank digital currency, do not use it at all, and just stop paying your mortgage. No, you take me to court. You changed the currency. You changed the currency. And another little thing I wanted to mention whilst we're here chatting away, I went into my phone the other day, into settings, and I went into Google services, and there at the top of my Google services list of apps was a COVID track and trace app that had been put in there. I've been trying to uninstall this app, and I can't find a way. I've got to drop into the Bell store to see some of these young kids know how to do that. But what a sneaky bunch of bastards. Yes, I'm going to say it. They snuck that in an update on my Samsung Android phone. I didn't ask for it. I didn't download it. Now it is switched off, but who knows if it's switched off inside the phone. It might just say that it is switched off. Now, these days I rarely carry my phone around with me, but you want to check your phone. Go into settings, go into apps, look for Google services, open that up and see if you have a COVID-19. It's a contact tracer. Okay, to show if you come in contact with anybody who has tested positive for COVID. I can't believe they're still doing this. These, man oh man, when the Nuremberg 2 trials start, the Canadian officials are going to be first up in front of those judges. Absolutely unbelievable. How dare they? How dare they? Have an agreement with Samsung to download that app onto my phone without my permission. God damn it. Yeah, we're in China. We are in China. The communist system has taken over here completely. And boy, oh boy, if you do not speak up now, we are going to be in such terrible trouble. So bear that in mind. Check your phone. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. So here is the big mess as it's melting, the well. I did a little bit of an update before, and I'm going to come around to this again because the fracker can't come in until about the first week of April. So, as I said, I don't think I will have any running water here before I leave. Anyway, we're managing quite well so far, and what else can I say? Can't change it, got to live with it. So it's become a routine. It hasn't gotten in the way too much. It's a bit of a chore, but there you go, what can you do? That'll be nothing. That'll be a minor inconvenience compared to what we are about to go through. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, it's Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.